Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the What We Said podcast. October's right around the corner, and I know we say this all the time, but I wanted to bring this up. Do you feel as though this September has been the fastest month of the year?
Yes.
Like abnormal. I know we always say that, but like it's the end of September.
No.
And I keep thinking it's the beginning of September's coming up. And I'm like, wait, we just finished.
It's actually
record
crazy.
timing.
It is record timing. I need to order our Halloween costumes. Mm-hmm. We got to plan our Halloween episode. We've been,
It's crazy.
We need to cook.
We need to cook. We have been not cooking. We've not been in our trad wife era.
We have been. Oh, yeah. We haven't been actually physically cooking. Actually, I have been cooking.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I meant we haven't been cooking with our Halloween stuff.
Oh, yeah. But we have been cooking
it's
in other
confusing.
ways. Yeah. Are we talking metaphorical or actually cooking? I'm not sure. But we also don't undersell us because we've been working hard on a lot of different things.
That's true.
For the podcast and personally.
Yeah.
I think we've been
killing
it lately, actually. We have been cooking. So.
We've been in the kitchen. Mm-hmm. We've been making other things.
Mm-hmm. And I have been also in the kitchen physically cooking up some food in my new
nice
oven. And
how is it? The cooking experience in the new kitchen?
Oh, it's so nice. It really is so different than... So in our old kitchen, you guys know Miss Fridge, R.I.P. Also, Miss Stove, should we call her, because she was also from the freaking early 1900s, apparently. Yeah. That oven was super finicky. Like it just wouldn't always even like preheat. Like I would, I'd have all my stuff prepped and be like preheat to 400 and it would be like 30 minutes and it just like wasn't going. And like would have to get under there and like do something with the flame, whatever. And the bottom of that oven would get super hot. So like if you didn't get a pan out before, it would be like scalding. Like if you touched it, you'd burn yourself super bad. Mm-hmm. So you always have to make sure you get whatever pan. And we could only keep certain pans in there that weren't, that wouldn't like catch on fire because it was so hot down there.
Yeah. Jeez.
So it was so funny because I was making something the other day. I was making salmon and I needed a pan from the bottom and I'd already clicked preheat and I was like, oh shoot. And I'm like, I don't have to worry about that in this oven because it's just so new and nice. So the oven was preheating and the drawer just slid out so well and like with ease underneath the oven, and I got out my pan. And I also would never use the timer on my old oven because if I used the timer and then I tried to turn the timer off, it would turn the whole oven off. And so then I'd have to restart. So anyway, I was using the timer. I was like, this is so nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really elevated my cooking experience.
Nice. What have you been making? What's on the fall menu?
Definitely some soups are on the fall menu. I haven't made a soup yet this season as I'm recording this, but I'm going to make one this week. I got some ingredients for one. It's like a lasagna, creamy lasagna soup. And then I've just been making a lot of meat, rice, and veggie combos. That's my favorite thing to make because it's so easy, it's so filling, and it's good. And you can like change up the seasonings. Have you ever had the Japanese barbecue sauce? That's like, I'm forgetting the brand name.
Yes, it's so good.
So good. Mm-hmm. So I would see people using it all the time. And the reason I had yet to try it is because I thought it was literal barbecue sauce, like that you would dip. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not. It's like a sauce for barbecuing meat and veggies. Mm-hmm. Like it's like a soy sauce, ginger kind of, almost like a more Asian-y.
So good.
Well, it is a more Asian like inspired sauce. It's so good. So lately, I've just been like marinating some meat or fish in that and doing jasmine rice and like asparagus or broccoli or something. So easy and so good and healthy.
I love asparagus.
Me too.
I love a cooked asparagus.
Me too. And it's so easy to make on the stovetop. Mm-hmm. My asparagus combo is I'll just do olive oil, salt, pepper, lemon juice.
Nice. Perfect.
5-10 minutes on the stovetop. Done.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's been my still simple stuff. I just saw my friend Christine post a TikTok where she was like going to the grocery store thinking you're going to like get all new stuff and then basically you just get the same thing every time.
And I was the same meals.
Yes. And I was thinking about how I do not switch it up when I go to the grocery store at all. I was like, I want to challenge myself next time I go to like get 3 new, completely new ingredients or new things I've never tried. Like a fully, different vegetable than I usually do or something.
Yeah.
Because I am very, very predictable with my grocery.
Yeah.
My grocery hauls do not change ever.
I would rebuke that. No, but
I rebuke you.
I would disencourage you.
Really? Because I'm not going to actually do it?
No, I'm just kidding. Because whenever I try and do that, but I'm not already like for years doing in my cooking era, like I need to.
You need to like start with the basics.
Yeah.
True.
I need to just get in the routine, and then maybe once I'm itching for change.
True.
But you don't want to fix something that ain't broke.
True. You don't want to overwhelm yourself when you don't need to.
But I'm obviously kidding. You can do whatever you want.
Well, I've just been feeling lately like, okay, I've had this meal a trillion times.
Okay, well then it's time to mix it up.
Like that's usually what I make is like meat, rice, and veggies. That's like my go-to meal that I rarely, or a soup or a pasta. I guess, I don't know.
I mean, what else is there to eat, really?
Yeah, I guess so. I guess I shouldn't jump to this, but I'll see people, make like homemade chicken burgers with like sweet potato fries, things that I'm like, oh, I should try that because that's different than just what I have all the time.
Oh, what I actually was going to say, is that sometimes if you have something, the thing is you cook more when you know how to do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes if you try and, okay, now I'm cooking more and now I'm going to try something new, but then that's all you have is like this new dish. It's very tempting to be like, well, I don't know how to make that. I'm really hungry.
True.
I'm going to order out instead. And then you just never use it. That's what happens to me, at least. I'm speaking obviously from personal experience. It's like if I get the recipes that I know how to make, I know how long it takes, I've done it before, I've been there, I'll cook it.
True.
But if I'm like, I'm going to get all new recipes this week, I find myself doing the switching of the guards.
Yeah, definitely the changing of the guards. The spinach.
Yeah.
Just
the
out
carrots,
the window. The carrots gone. Mm-hmm. So true.
The fennel.
Yeah. Oh, I've never gotten fennel.
Exactly. It's like, oh yeah. Actually, fennel, if you're going to get a new one to cook, is so good, especially in the fall. A bulb of fennel. It's kind of like asparagus. Like you can do the same thing.
Okay.
It's just a different flavor. You can also add Kenzie Burke had this in some of her recipes. It's a seasoning. It's called sumac. It's really good. Like
just like
on all
like
vegetables.
Spice that you put on
it's just
something?
a spice. Yeah. Okay. It's really, really good. On like asparagus or fennel or something like that. Easy, quick.
Yeah, that's what I think I need is some new like seasonings maybe. Because even once I found that Japanese barbecue sauce, now I've been fixated on it. I just think it's so good and it's so easy. So, but I fear I'll get sick of that soon and then move on to the next seasoning. But yeah, last night I made chicken Alfredo and broccoli.
Ooh, yeah. Delicious. That sounds great.
Yeah. Anyway, what have you been up to? This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. I feel like as we get older and life gets busy, Chelsea and I were just talking before we recorded this episode about how busy life can feel. And it definitely feels hard to make time for just learning new things, picking up new hobbies. As adults, it feels like that's kind of the last thing on your to-do list because you just have so much else going on. And kids are always learning and growing, but as adults, sometimes we lose that curiosity. So maybe you'd like to learn something new like gardening or a new language, or maybe how to finally beat your best friend in bowling. Therapy can help you reconnect with your sense of wonder because your back to school era can come at any age.
I have loved therapy at different times in my life for different things, but the main thing it's always helped me with is going through big life changes to kind of help me center myself, learn positive coping skills, and how to set boundaries. It just overall can really empower you to be the best version of yourself. And it isn't just for those who have experienced major trauma. So if you're thinking of starting therapy, definitely give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. So just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist, and you can switch therapists at any time for no additional charge, which is absolutely amazing because sometimes it takes time to find the right one. So rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/whatwesaid today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/whatwesaid. Go check it out. It'll be linked in the show notes. Well, I've been having the opposite. I have not been cooking. My plan is working and it's working very well. Thank goodness that Nick doesn't listen to this podcast because he would be aware of my plan to get him to be the cook of the house because he has it in him. Like he has always been a better cook than me. Like he just naturally is one of those people that just can do things by ear, like play piano by ear. Like he's just good at improvising. I'm very, which, when we're building furniture, sometimes it's not come in handy because it's like the IKEA needs to be very specific. He's like, we don't need the instructions. I'll just fix it. And then one of the drawers isn't working. I'm like, okay. But for cooking, it's a great thing. Like to be able to improvise and see this might be better. You don't always have to go by, I have to have like a recipe. Otherwise I'm scared I'm going to mess it up. And I usually do mess it up if I don't have a recipe to follow. That's like very specific. And then that kind of it's not disencourage. What's the word?
Discourage.
It's
been a long night. It's been a long day,
It's been
Mama.
a long morning. What is it, 10 a.m.? Discourages me from cooking because I'm like, this is going to take me so long. I get a little bit sweaty because I'm stressed that I'm not following it correctly. So anyways, I have been telling Nick our whole marriage, we've been trying to force something we're forcing it needs to flow. And you need to be the cook. I need to be the eater because you're a better cook than me. And ever since I've not been vegan, it's been much more, I think, fun for him because I actually eat the things that he makes.
Wait, I'd like to take a pause in this conversation and ask you how you've been feeling not being vegan now for a while.
Oh, that's a very loaded question.
Okay, well, let's get into it.
I'm like, good. Well, let me finish my thought first.
Okay, sorry.
Literally this. Hurry.
I'm like, whew, I must know. No, I remembered
this?
that I wanted to ask you.
I will touch on that actually.
Okay.
And this, I'll bring this to a close very quickly, but pretty much Nick has been cooking so much more. He makes breakfast every morning.
Lately?
Yeah, lately. And if we have like a good dinner, it's usually him cooking, not me. Every once in a while I'll make like bean soup or something.
Yeah.
I'm not comfortable cooking meat. I just haven't been. So if we're cooking meat, he's cooking. And then he's usually, cooking the vegetables or making whatever it is. And he's so good at it. And he's been like making homemade whipped cream for my coffee in the morning.
Okay, Nara.
I know he's in his David Filler, or he's not David Filler, David Clark era.
That is all I could wish for. Like, trust me, I've been also trying to do that.
Yeah.
But Leif has not, because I always talk about how Leif has very intense hyperfixations on things. And he will go down a rabbit hole. No, I literally will be like, hyperfixate on this sourdough starter. Isn't that cool that they do sourdough starter? Because I'm like, once you get him on something, he'll go down the rabbit hole. He'll become a perfectionist at it. Like, when is the grilling fixation?
You're like
the
pumpkin spice lattes.
Yeah, I'm like homemade whipped cream for my matcha fixation. I'm trying to get that going, but so far my plan's not working.
Yeah,
so.
Unfortunately, the plan was to never speak of it again and let it go completely, as you usually have to do with things that you manifest. It's like you have to it's like you put an order into a restaurant.
Force it.
Yeah, and they're going to bring you your food. At some point, you don't know when. You just let the universe take care of it. So I was like, you know what? I think that our family is better off with you cooking. I'll make the kids like my healthy little eggplant things, like, where it's like,
that sounds complicated.
Exactly.
What are we talking about?
It's just like the vegan in me that just can't give it up. It's like the plant-based, the like, let's use coconut instead of this. Like, let's use alternatives, which is good, plant-based, but not always delicious, a little bit out there sometimes. So I'll like leave that to me, but for like the meats, the hearty meals, the breakfast, the eggs, like,
what does he make for breakfast? Sandwiches. What's a typical breakfast?
He'll make me like Case loves sausage, so it's usually on the docket for the morning. Like, he'll usually make Case. My brain is literally okay. He makes.
I'm scared, but also me. I was vlogging the other day. It took me 3 minutes to think of the word combine. I'm not joking. Yeah, I'm like, what is the freaking word? And I had to freak out like that.
Frustrating. It's literally so frustrating. Sorry.
But take your own advice. Slow down. No need to get it out fast.
Okay.
A typical breakfast.
Case usually has fruit of some kind, like strawberries, berries, bananas, sometimes with the homemade whipped cream.
Nice.
With eggs, sausage, sometimes like, it's not beef sausage. It's like, I don't know what it's called, but some kind of beef thing. But for me, he'll make like a sandwich with like sourdough. He doesn't make sourdough, but like sourdough bread, an egg, that like is runny. What is that called? Sunny side up.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes bacon, sometimes like avocado. Sometimes I'll put like a sauce on there. So good. I'm probably forgetting something, but yeah, it's been great, and I'm just letting it unravel. And he doesn't listen to this, so he doesn't even know that was my plan all along.
So the plan was to just be quiet about it, and somehow
to just be quiet about it and encourage him. Yeah, encourage him in his talents and his potential. Mm-hmm. And it's working. So he's cooking, and I'm loving it.
Happy for you.
I about the vegan thing. Mm-hmm. Because people still message me, they're like, "You're not vegan." I'm like, "Get with the program." This has been a year or two.
Yeah.
I actually don't remember how long, but I think it's been almost 2 years since I haven't been vegan. It's been great. Honestly, I feel like people want a different answer. Like they'll always ask me, like, I think hoping that I'll be like, I was blind and now I see. Like the meat has changed my life. But truly,
I didn't really mean that when that's
no, I know,
not really
not
what
you.
I was fishing for.
Not you.
Oh, okay.
But people will
Ask you
DM me
how
a
you're feeling
lot.
now?
Yeah, like not everybody, but there are some where it's like, "Oh my gosh, can you even believe that you were vegan? Like, how much better do you feel now?" And I'll be like, "Unfortunately, not worlds better. Actually, if anything, I feel like I've had a little bit more like health issues now." So I just feel like eating has kind of always been a little bit tricky for me. So I don't think, being vegan or not being vegan cures that for me. So it's been fine. I mean, I have way more food freedom. That's the main, and pretty much the main benefit is I have way more freedom with what I can eat and where I can eat, which is very nice when we go out to eat. I think everyone else enjoys that I'm not vegan. Honestly, probably even more than I do. Like that I can eat with them and try different, foods. I'm not always like, "Oh, I want to go to this vegan restaurant." However, it's not like my health has been, I'm jacked now and my hair is growing at an insane amount, things like that. I'm sure there are some benefits to both, but the one negative is that I don't think I get half as many vegetables and fruit into my diet as I used to, because that was like one of my only options. So I find myself like really having to try to get vegetables into my diet, which is not always ideal.
That makes sense.
But that's the update.
Yeah. I was curious if you felt like overall it was maybe less stressful or more, basically you have more freedom.
Yeah.
Just so, when
it's
you go
less
to
stressful for sure.
Yeah. When you go to a restaurant, it's not like, okay, well, there's going to be limited options for me. You're kind of just like, I can do whatever.
Yeah.
But so I was curious if that like has been nice, or if you're just like
super nice. Definitely nice. Especially for breakfast. I feel like if anything, like having eggs for breakfast, like even what I just described, like Nick making me a breakfast sandwich is so good. I love like a hearty breakfast, and I feel like that's good for me. But I don't know. It's complicated because I do feel like, unfortunately, like this is horrible news to all of us, that when I eat whole foods and better ingredients and like try to get rid of all processed foods, I feel worlds better.
I know.
Just worlds better. Like there are just times in my life where I, again, it's so layered. It's not just like, oh, eat healthy or not, especially just personally for me. It's layered. But when I eat like lots of vegetables, lots of whole foods, and I'm not saying not meat or anything like that, but like especially if I have a lot of processed dairy, it's just like, I don't feel good.
well.
Yeah, I feel like I have more brain fog. I feel like my emotions, and honestly, the main thing is I feel like my periods are worse when I have a lot of like processed food. And aka my whole month.
Right.
So the 2 weeks before, all
AKA
that.
your whole life.
Exactly. Yeah. So, I'm always trying to find a balance of like, not being too stingy, enjoying sweet treats and showing my kids a healthy, relationship.
Balance of everything.
Yeah.
I feel like you do good at that. I mean, obviously I'm not
thanks.
around you 24/7 to see that, but I feel like you have, I don't know, like had a good balance of like, you'll eat out and eat food that's maybe, not the peak of health. We'll have Taco Bell together, but then you'll also make your like healthier stuff at home. And I feel like that's good.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I try. It's a journey. I feel like probably most people eating healthy is just a journey because there's so many. Just like sometimes it's hard not to get overwhelmed by like marketing and just what's available to you, what's quick, what's easy when you're busy.
It's unfortunately a lot harder to eat really healthy than it is to eat. Like it's the quicker option. I was just thinking about how fast food, like I got Chick-fil-A the other day and I was eating the fries in the car and I was thinking about how just I always eat, like if I get fast food, I always eat the fries while I'm in the car. I'm like, who wouldn't
Always.
do that? That's crazy. And I was thinking about the concept of when usually fast food is for when you're really hungry. Like it's very rare that I'm in a fast food drive-thru and I'm like, I'm not super starving, but I'm
I'll
here.
wait till I get home.
Yeah, it's like, no. I'm ravenous. That's why I'm here. And that's why I'm eating the fries while I'm driving, while I'm in the passenger seat, whatever.
So I'm getting a drink so I can, get something in my stomach.
Yeah. And it's like, it's just, again, I'm never going to be above, like, whatever. I eat fast food sometimes, but I was just thinking about how our culture here is like that. It's just like, okay, fast, like, I'm starving. Let's just pick up and, get this food that's full of, like, preservatives and sugar and stuff. And then makes you more stressed probably and bloated. And it's just like this cycle.
Makes your sleep worse.
Yeah.
I know. It's really hard. I genuinely feel like it's the struggle of my life because I don't know. I guess I have to be in the right headspace to be eating healthy and not have it be this big deal. But having, like, if you've been around long enough, I was just talking to someone. I was like, oh, but yeah, I used to be a health coach. And like, I was like, I've literally blocked that out of my head, just like health and wellness, because sometimes it can be a little bit triggering for me personally. Not that it has to be for anybody else. Like that's my own issue. But if I get I'm always scared to get too into it, like too into eating healthy and even too into working out, because then I'm like, okay, well, I
don't want to become like obsessed with
I don't want to become obsessed with that. And it's very easy for me to slip back into it, but I also don't want to use that as an excuse. So I want to like have a good balance and I want to be working out, but I don't want to push myself. And then it's like, oh my gosh, it's just kind of discouraging sometimes because I just want to be like, I want to feel good.
Yeah.
And I've seen the evidence that it makes me feel better. And
we don't want to slip back into old habits and become like unhappy with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's.
But I want to feel good. And I want to feel like balanced. And then I just find myself, again, spiraling on like social media or TikTok or listening to podcasts. It's like, is my cortisol up? Is it my hormones? Why am I getting these rashes on my hands? Like, when am I doing this? Like, why am I not sleeping? Why am I not falling asleep fast enough? Why am I falling asleep so fast? Like, all of these little things are like, why are my joints? It's just, what supplement do I need to be taking? It can feel so overwhelming.
Yeah, it is.
But it's like, but I have to do something. Like, if I'm not feeling well, I have to be trying.
It really is just very overwhelming. And all the content on social media, I think, makes it even more confusing because there's a million different rabbit holes you could go down. I think it starts with like just simply like drinking more water, eating more at home, and like getting outside. I feel like that's like the base of it. And then once you're like feeling, okay, I'm doing that pretty often. And I'm, I feel like then you can add things on. It's like, okay, now let's maybe get down to, maybe let's take a new supplement. Maybe let's check on, maybe let me get blood work done, see if my hormones, whatever. But it's like, let's start. Let me
with
get myself into a good position where I'm, like staying hydrated, getting outside every day, and eating pretty healthy foods at home for the most part. Let's start there. And then we can, because I think sometimes it's easy to like jump forward and be like, I need to get onto this rigid routine. I should do this course. I need to listen to this podcast. It's like, but are you even doing and I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
Are you even doing the basic necessities to make yourself feel good? Let's start with that. And then we can go down rabbit holes later.
Yeah, exactly. I know. It's tricky.
I think that's very relatable though. Completely. Let me check my notes. Oh, I'd like to say what is war is over? What is that?
War
that's right.
is over.
Is that like a Christmas song though?
Yeah.
Because when I was about to start singing that, I'm like, that's giving Christmas.
Yeah, I was like, are we getting I'm happily jumping to Christmas.
No, war is over because Reese's Pieces themselves posted on their Instagram and said, it's Reese's, not Reese's. Thank you. Thank you for finally confirming what all of us normal people already knew.
But do you think people were like actually thinking that it was Reese's? I think it's just like, they just say it because that's just like fun to say.
No, some people will double down
and argue.
Yes, Tyson even replied. He's like, no. I'm like, now don't piss me off because it's Reese's.
Yeah,
stop. And people were messaging me. They're like, no, this is not right. I think they're just trying to get me heated, and it's working.
Wait, Reese's Pieces did it or Reese's?
Or you know what? It might have been Reese's Puffs. One of the Reese's accounts, it's verified. It's an actual account. Was like, it's Reese's, not Reese's.
Because I was gonna say the only acceptable time to say, and I know you don't agree with this, but Reese's Pieces is just fun to say. Okay. Like it's a fun little thing. Like if you're saying like, oh, I want a Reese's Fast Break, you're not gonna say Reese's Fast Break. I mean, I know people do, but I'm saying like, I feel like the only one that can slide is Reese's Pieces.
Okay,
it's cute. It's
that
fun.
one pisses me off the most because Pieces,
Reese's Pieces is fun. It's like Cruncha Muncha. Like it's just a fun little like crunchy word.
The word is pieces. Pieces.
Yeah, it's fun.
And now we're doing Reese's Pieces. That's crazy behavior. I cannot get behind that. Call me the Grinch. Call me annoying. Reese's Pieces, like seriously, it gets me, something about it gets me so fired up.
Really?
Because people legitimately, again, I think some people are trolling, but other people that I've talked to and had this debate with, they're like, no, it literally is just Reese's Pieces. Like that's what it was meant to be. And I'm like, are you not aware of the word peace?
You mean pieces?
Yes, the word is piece.
Yeah.
And then when it's plural, it's pieces.
Yeah.
Let me go get these pieces of papers. Like, no. So what makes it different?
It's not fun to say
now,
pieces of paper.
Let's further break this down. Reese, the founder of Reese's.
Yeah.
They are his pieces. Mm-hmm. Reese's Pieces.
Yeah.
Where did you get Reese's Pieces? Where did that ever happen? How did this originate?
I think there's just a difference in I mean, again, I don't have
you have no horse in this race.
Yeah, I have no horse in this race. I don't care. But I'll say whatever comes to my mind. However, I do feel like some people, I come from a family of made up words and a family of words that over time, family of words over time become not words. Like my mom will call us like booger butts, and then it turns into like, she calls us like, okay, come on people. Then she's like, come on peeps. It eventually led to come on peepees, and we were like, you've gone too far. Like it's just
not peepees.
You know, it's like nicknames like Case or Roo. How does that? That's not, you know. It's like just the most random of words. Like we call Sophie Cruncha Muncha. Where did that come from?
Oh, I get that.
You know, fun little words that it's like, okay, now we call this food like, you know, something that doesn't make sense. So then we call them, maybe a little kid said Reese's Pieces, and it's like, okay, that's cute.
Okay,
let's call it Reese's
get that
Pieces.
within your family culture. Yeah. How did this become a
cultural
phenomenon that everyone does? Like, not everyone, but I literally feel like it's 50-50. Like people,
it is,
and that's what just shocks me the most. Is it's like, how did we get here? Who started Pieces?
It's the school systems. They've let us down.
The system
has failed us.
The system has
failed me multiple times.
For sure. Anyway, I'll get off my high horse about Reese's Pieces. That is one of the only things I will be on my high horse about. But that's gotta feel good, though. Oh, it feels so good. And you know what their caption was?
Thanks, JC.
We said what we said.
No, they didn't.
Yes.
Wow. They know.
Who knows?
We said what we said, and we said we've trademarked that, and we'll be suing you, bitch.
Yep. And so now we're the owners of Reese's, actually.
We're Reese.
And my new name is Reese. And
there are PCs.
These are our Reese's Pieces. Wow. Like, why does that just, something about that really fuels, it fills my soul to see that they
validated it.
They validated it themselves.
That is nice. That is a good feeling.
They shut down these rumors, even though it should have been obvious all along.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people literally just think it's funny, or they just grew up saying that. I'm aware. But it just cracks me up, and it's this like debate that doesn't need to be a debate.
Yeah,
you know, where people are just they're like, no, it's PCs, and I'm like, read a book.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Yeah,
so you know, to have them, validate that felt good. I'll admit.
That is nice. That's really nice.
So groundbreaking update, wanted to share with the podcast. Going back to speaking about fast food and Chick-fil-A, when I was at Chick-fil-A, I'm like, delicious. We'll be going back every day. When I was there, the worker taking my order I gave her my order, whatever. And I said, thank you so much. And she goes, you're welcome. Oh, I mean, my pleasure. She slipped.
And you said, mask, now what did you say?
No, what did you say there? The mask was slipping.
You're like about to drink. You're like, it slowly turns.
I'm about to eat one of my friends. I'm like,
she's like, starts sweating,
starts shaking and trembling. No, but for real, she seemed scared.
What did you say? A horror film.
Wait, that's kind of a funny skit. She genuinely looked scared, Chelsea. She's like, I'm sorry, I meant what? My pleasure. And I was thinking back about how I heard that you get something for free if they mess up.
Oh, really?
And I thought to myself, who in their right mind? She's like, oh, my pleasure. And I'm like, now where's my free milkshake? Like, what am I gonna really?
How are you gonna go about redeeming that?
Exactly. Is that real? Because
that would be funny.
We need to talk to Keaton and ask him because he used to work at Chick-fil-A. But I'm just like, is that a real thing that you get something free if they mess up? Because
that's hilarious.
I just don't. So. It's hilarious, but I don't feel good about how would you. I was just.
They're like 15.
Yeah.
You're like, gotcha.
No, literally, I'm like.
It comes out of their paycheck.
Literally, I'm like, that just seems crazy to be like, oh, I heard you slip. Like, can I get something for free now? It's like, okay, really?
Unless they offer it up. Like, dang, I messed up. I'm going to get you a free thing of fries.
True. That would be fun. Mm-hmm. But I did not redeem my free gift, if that's even a real thing, because I just felt like that was, she was already a little
They give you
stressed.
$100 gift card.
Literally. Oh, I could only hope.
Yeah.
But anyway, I just thought that was hilarious.
That is so funny. Just caught her.
I was like, it's fine. Don't worry.
She's probably new, still getting used to it.
Yeah.
That would be hard.
No, she was a
honestly.
sweetie.
That's so funny. I wanted to give an update on the bench because some of you relate to my Instagram story, and I'm sorry, I should have made a highlight called "Did I get the bench?" Like I said on that episode, I'm like, go to my Instagram, but people relate. They're like coming on Thursday. I'm like, dude, the episode's 2 days ago. I already posted. I'm not sending you a private story. Just kidding.
Here's the update.
Yeah. That I did indeed get scammed. It was an absolute scam. I know. But if you're
okay, you're reiterating.
Catching up. Yeah, I did get scammed, and I am out $200 something, and I was very sad. But then one glorious Sunday morning, I'm out to eat with some of my in-laws. We were eating delicious breakfast, and I get this text from an angel. It said, "Do you like this bench?" And I was like, oh my gosh. JC was at a flea market, and she found me a bench that looked better than the bench. Yeah, similar but better. It's actually more so what I wanted, like initially. And I went and picked it up from. Well, you bargained for me. You got the price down. And JC and I were like calling, and I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, tell her I wanted this. Like, I need to. What's her Venmo? Let me get it right now. And then we went and picked it up. And it was real, first of all, which was nice. It looks so cute. And now it's in my family room. So now I have a bench, and it's never enough.
Why? Because now you need
now
the
I
table?
Just need a new table. I need chairs.
But
and
you got the base now.
I got the base, and it looks so good. It really brought that little area together. Mm-hmm. So thank you to my guardian angels.
You're welcome.
You and Ty, who found that for me.
I was walking around and I saw it and I took a photo. I just felt like it was, I knew like it looked similar to what you wanted. So I knew you would like it, but I just felt like it was unrealistic that you would maybe actually get it because you were not at the flea market and you were busy that day with family. And I'm like, I don't have a car big enough to haul it. Yeah. So I'm like, well, I'm going to send it to her regardless just because like it's so similar and you've been looking for one. Mm-hmm. But obviously she's probably not going to want to actually get it because the logistics seemed a little far-fetched. Yeah. And so I took a photo of it. I kept walking. You know how big that flea market is. Yeah. So I kind of lost it. Yeah. Like I couldn't remember exactly where. I knew the general vicinity.
Yeah, it is huge.
But then we kept walking and then you replied, you're like, wait, I need it. And I'm like, okay, wait, where was it? Yeah. I'm like, and is it still available? So me, Leif, and Benny, we were like on our way out and we were looking through all the different vendors. And anyway, I found it. It was still there. And the lady was super nice. I was telling her that my friend wanted it, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I was taking the measurements and I'm so happy it worked out because it really is perfect and it'll be so cute.
The measurements were perfect. That's when it was like, okay, I have to get this because I probably would have gone. I honestly forgot that flea market was that day. And I wanted to go look for tables, like look for furniture because they usually have good furniture at that flea market. So I was so glad. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a dream come true. Like sometimes you go, I feel like if I would have gone, somehow that bench wouldn't have been there, you know?
Right. Sometimes you just need the right situation.
Yeah.
And
to make it work, to make it happen.
It worked out. I'm happy. I'm excited to see that whole space come together.
JC's been my interior design, what's it called? Helper.
Your interior designer.
Yeah, my interior designer for my I got a new light. Thanks. Well, actually I found the light. But you validated me. It's nice to have that extra validation, you know, like I like it, but yeah. Is it good enough?
You know what? This brings me to something I wanted to talk about on the podcast that I saw. I read an article, aka I saw a TikTok about it, and I really loved it. And I wanted to talk about this concept because this woman was basically saying your taste and your talent will never match up. So pretty much don't even think that it will, but also don't let that stop you from creating. And I was thinking about that with interior design or whatever you want to, you can think about any area of life really, or any hobby that you have or something, where I will see photos and be like, okay, this is my taste, this is my vibe. But then sometimes when I go to execute it, I'm like, wait, why is it not looking like
it could always be better?
Yes.
Yeah.
And she was saying your taste is aspirational. Like that is something that you look up to, that you see a photo on Pinterest, whether it's fashion, whether it's interior design, whatever it is, and you like it and you aspire for that. But your talent level is it's like that thing that I shared a while ago about how I was feeling about photography. I was like, these photos these photos are looking like I took them. I don't want them to look like I took them.
Yeah.
I want them to look like that.
Yeah.
This other photographer that I've seen. I feel like that's a very common thing. You maybe kind of design little elements of your house and you're like, well, this doesn't look like the people I look up to. This looks like I did it.
Yeah.
But her point was there are people out there that want to enjoy what you are putting out. And so stop letting that stop you from experimenting with things, creating, trying out new things, because you're never going to reach this pinnacle of like, now I have my perfect taste. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Like you're never feeling like 100% I'm expressing myself in 100% pure authenticity of what exactly I like and want to be.
Yes, like your vision of something is likely never going to match up perfectly. You can definitely execute on things and be like, oh, I feel good about this. I really like how my house is coming together. But then you'll see another photo in a magazine or on Pinterest and be like, oh, but that looks way better. And it's like, in your head, because this professional designer did it, not me.
Yeah.
But
that's why it's really nice to have other people help you, because even though maybe you could have done just as good of a job, even if you're like, I liked that light and I took a picture of it and I was like, oh, it's cool. But then there's like a little doubt again where it's like, but can I put it in the room to make it look cute? Like, is that going to be, again, I picked it out. So is it like really going to be that great?
Can I rely on my eye and my taste?
Yes. But then when you're like, no, I really like that, then it's like, oh, okay, now I enjoy it more because I know like my, it's validated and from a different perspective, someone else is enjoying it as well. It's not just me, which, might not be a good attribute. I'm like, I cannot be validated by my own. I need other people to validate me.
No, I think it's relatable.
It's like even your outfit. It's like if someone else like is validating you, I swear I can attribute half of my confidence in my outfits and in my style to Nick, because every time I put on not just like a cute little sundress or something with sandals, as guys usually like, which is so shocking to me.
I hate. Oh my gosh, pick the worst outfit that I would hate to wear. A sundress and sandals. Kill me.
Yeah. Like I will be wearing the baggiest, like weirdest out there thing. And he's like, you look so cool. Like, and he'll like try and be like, encouraging me and like, oh, you look like a 90s, whatever. Like you look early 2000, like he'll be hyping me up and it gives me extra confidence. So then I'm like, okay, like I even have that before I go out the door that my outfit's cool. Like, so not only am I confident in it, now I have this other person who's hyping me up as well. And so now I'm feeling extra confident and even so confident as to like tell other people what I think they, because then it's like, oh, they like my opinion. So now I'm going to, offer my opinion to this person who's asking for it or whatever. Yeah. So I do think it is, I don't know even why I was sharing that, but I do think it is nice to have that extra external validation.
It is.
Of your talents.
I think that's human nature to want people to.
Especially creativity. It's like, what's the point of creating if there's no one else to enjoy it with you? Yeah. It's like, that's half the fun. You create something and then you want to be able to share it with someone. It's like going on a hike and there's a beautiful view. If you're by yourself sometimes, it's just like, wait, I want to share this with somebody. Like I want somebody to see it with me and experience it with me on this ride.
I agree. I think that, well, not to contradict that, it's like you don't need that validation, but it is nice enjoyable. To have, and it is enjoyable to like, I think that's why it's fun to just, I think in today's world, it's easy to, you don't want to put, because, okay, the reason I actually started thinking about all of this too is because someone was messaging me. They're like, have you always been into like vintage shopping and stuff? Because I never really showed that much home decor content or like, oh, I'm getting vintage stuff like ever.
When you posted
this.
That, I was like pondering, thinking that's true.
And I was thinking like, I've kind of done the opposite of what we're talking about where she was saying your talent's not going to match up with your taste. Just do it anyway, post it anyway. And I was thinking how my perfectionistic qualities and kind of how I've just always been where it's like, I don't want to put something out until it looks the way I want it to look, which I think is valid to an extent. But I never shared any of my like decorating content before because I didn't feel like it was fully reflecting my style because I'm like, well, I'm in a space that I wouldn't have chosen. Like this is a great, beautiful rental, but I would change the cabinets. I would change the floors. I would, if it was up to me. And so my stuff that, my little vintage vase that I got, like to me, it's not giving the full effect because I'm like, well, it's in this space that I don't even really love. And so now, but that is the opposite of what you should do is what I'm saying. Like you should not wait until you have the perfect situation to like try and to post and to whatever. It doesn't always have to be posting, but I've even felt like in the past when I, was living in these rentals, it's like, well, I'm not going to spend money on these, like this big antique, hutch because it's like, that's not going to fit this modern vibe of where I'm living. Yeah. Which I think is valid. Yeah. But do you know what I'm saying? Yes. It's like, I have always waited until things are perfect and I still do that. Like even right now, as I've been trying to decorate, I've been showing little things that I've gotten, but people are like, we want to see the bathroom. I'm like, but it's not finished yet. Like it's not perfect yet because I want to get just little things. Like I want to hang art up and do a few more things, which again, I think is, I don't want to do a grand reveal if it's not done. That makes sense. But it's like, you can also still share the process. It doesn't have to be perfect before you share something. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Especially if you do hang art, but it's like, oh, that's not the art that I want.
Yeah.
That's not the perfect art. It's like, but it still looks good and no one would be like, that art isn't, well, maybe some people, but yeah, I get what you're saying. That's the same thing I feel about fashion and like personal style. Like you're always going to be like, oh, this outfit could be a little bit better if I had this, or if I had a different, but that shouldn't stop you from trying to wear something cool and like something that's fun that you like. If it's like, oh, the shoes are a little off or like the shirt's a little off, but that doesn't mean just get into a sweat set or like something. Like try.
Yeah. Well, and I think
have fun.
I think people are so scared, people, aka me, like to fail or to look dumb on, I'm specifically talking now about social media. Like, I don't want to be like, I just moved into this house, here's this room and it's not complete. And people are like, oh, I don't really like how you did that. And I'm like, okay, well, it's not done yet. But, you don't want to feel dumb, but it's like, but who cares? And that's why even starting new hobbies and sharing journeys of things that aren't perfect yet is hard because you don't want criticism for something that you're like, okay, I know this isn't perfect, but at the same time, it's like, who cares? Just show it anyway. That's really human nature. Why are we scared to do something or show any sense of vulnerability or be like, hey, I'm thinking about taking up this hobby. I'm going to start whatever. I'm going to start painting. And it's like you share your first things and it's like people are like, ooh, that's not very good. Okay. And like, am I supposed to be literally when I can't think of a famous
Picasso?
I was going to say Mozart. Like, what do you expect? If someone's just starting out, they're not going to be perfect at something.
No, I have had to stop myself from using that disclaimer because duh!
Oh my gosh, you scared me.
Literally, duh. Like, it's not perfect. Like, I know it's not perfect.
Yeah,
duh.
yeah.
Nothing is perfect.
True.
There's never been a perfect thing to ever exist in this world. Like, there's never been a perfect house. There's never been like, you could like something. There's never been a perfect outfit. Maybe like, duh. Because perfect in your, like, sometimes to you, it's like, okay, I want every single person to unanimously agree that it's perfect. That will never happen. It's like your baby names. It's like your clothes. It's like your house. It's like your taste in humor, your taste in food. Duh. Like, just do what you want to do. Like, it's never going to be perfect. And I'm speaking literally, I'm yelling at myself.
No.
That's why.
Oh my gosh. Like, I'm so annoyed at myself for ever even saying that on my vlogs. Just being like, okay, ignore this. Oh my gosh. Ew, that's all I do.
I know there's laundry.
Yeah.
Duh. Yeah. There's always laundry. You're always wearing clothes. So there's always going to be laundry. Laundry never ends. Dishes never end. It's okay. Like, it's okay. There's trash. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It kind of smells in here. Duh. Like, duh. I just threw away food that I left out. Or like, I have kids who are in diapers. You want me to magically make them disappear within seconds? Like, duh.
No, it's so true.
Like, it's not.
But to give,
I mean, I do this all. I'm literally yelling at myself.
no,
I'm not
I
yelling
am
at anyone
too.
else.
That's oh my gosh. In my
I'm like,
vlog,
there's a fork in the sink. What do you want to do? Like,
signs of life anywhere. I'm like,
yes.
I'm sorry. Okay, there's lady's toy on the ground, laundry in here. Ignore that. Now picture this. It's like, oh my gosh. I was gonna say to kind of not explain. What's the word I'm looking for? Again, can't think of a freaking word. Like,
validate?
like justify it a little bit. It's because like people point out everything.
No, it's
so
true.
you just get into the habit of like, okay, I know people are going to comment on, literally, like, shockingly, people will comment on that. If I was to show, oh, here's like kind of some progress of my room and there's laundry, people are going to be like, say stuff about it.
Yeah.
So
no,
you feel the need to like beat them to the punch and be like, I know there's laundry on the ground. I know this is not, I know that the, whatever, like my plant needs to be repotted so it's a little crooked. Like there's
a brown leaf on my plant.
Yeah, it's just like you feel the need to make all these disclaimers before so people know, okay, I'm aware, let's not make those comments. But it really, you know what I was thinking is I admire so much when people don't make disclaimers.
Yeah.
When they just, I don't know, like I have been talking about how I want to be a little bit less self-deprecating and be like, just, I don't know. Okay, I know this isn't good. I know whatever. It's like just film what you're doing and you don't need to talk about every little thing. I know my hair is greasy. Sorry. Oh, my nails need to be done. But it's like just film, because I love when people have chipped nails and their hair's greasy and they don't say a freaking word about it. They say, hey, good morning. It's like, oh, good morning to you.
Yeah.
Imperfect human that we all are. Like this is so... It's so crazy to have to constantly, and I'm not just talking about if you're an influencer, like
even just in general. I'm mostly even saying like when people come over.
Yes, if your friends come over, you're like, sorry, it's messy.
Literally,
like I always do that.
My baby will poop, and I'm like, I'm so sorry before I can even change it. It's like we're living, like we are alive. We're living in this home. Like I don't know, just little things where it's like Sophie comes in, there's like dog hair on the carpet or on the thing. It's like, yeah, because she just walked by there. Like I can't be following everyone around cleaning up right after everybody, but I feel as though I have to when people come over. I'm like stressing out.
Yes. Well, and I think
can't make it look like anybody has been walking on this carpet.
If you do that less, like this is what I'm trying to work on, because I feel like the more I, show up to something with my friends and then I'm making disclaimers already, like, yep, I know, because I will do that. I'll literally walk in and be like, my outfit's ugly. Everyone likes, and everyone's like, what? It's like, Kate.
Then they start like, oh yeah, maybe it is ugly.
Or like, whatever it is. You know what I mean? But I'm one to do that. And I'm like, I need to stop, because then it's kind of this thing that Amber posted recently. She was saying, people judge you based off their perception of beauty. So if they are not okay with looking taking a photo that's unflattering. And if they're not okay with like being imperfect, then they place that judgment onto you. And that's how you feel when you're in their presence. And like when I read that, I was like, oh my gosh, like I don't want people in my life to feel like, okay, JC's such a perfectionist. Like, when I come over to her house, she's like, oh, sorry, it's messy. Like when she doesn't look good in a photo, she's like, oh my gosh, I look so bad. So then now you don't feel comfortable around me, because I'm not saying you don't, but I'm just saying in general, I don't want my friends or my family to be like, now I have to make disclaimers. Like if I don't look good in a photo, I need to make sure she knows like, no, I know I don't look good because that's how I perceive myself. That really like hit me. I was like, I don't want people to feel like they can't be themselves or imperfect around me, because that is totally a me problem to be making all those disclaimers. And I think it comes from a lot of things. And part of it is growing up on the internet and having my life on display for 10 years, being very nitpicked. So I feel the need to be like, I know, I'm sorry. But it's like, I don't want them to feel like they have to do that. You know what I mean? So I need to stop, because does this making sense?
Yes, of course. Yeah, makes total sense. I'm trying not to laugh because I was just thinking about my latest vlog that I did. I was thinking this exact same thing. I'm like, you know what? I am not good with this camera. Like I have this new vlog camera. It's so nice, but I don't know how to work with it that well. I'm like trying to learn how to like focus it. And there's just like it's really nice. And I feel like the nicer things are, the more work they need, because obviously like you have to upkeep. It's not just like a little Canon G7X that I used to have. That's really easy. Anyways, all that to say, like the Zoom and things, sometimes like while I'm filming, I'm like, who cares? Like just get it done. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. And so I put it by my window. I was like filming this whole thing. And there were fighter jets or something, like so many airplanes. And I was like, what is happening? It must have been the time of day. It's usually not that loud by my house. And I'm like, what is happening? Like it is so loud right now. And I had to have the window open. So I was like, whatever. If they hear airplanes in the back.
So loud.
Actually couldn't hear me talking. And I didn't give a disclaimer. I was like, oh my gosh, I had to do it later. Like it was, and I had to like try and voice isolate. I'm like, oh my gosh, this would have been a time where I should have said.
Just given a disclaimer.
Been like, sorry about the airplanes. Because I was like, it's fine. Like who cares if there's a noise actually like jarring to the ear. I was like, okay, well, that was backfiring. But something about what you're just saying is I feel like if you take your confidence in one area, like everyone is confident in one area of their life where they are so, maybe they've been very validated in it. It's like I was just saying, even with like things that I'm wearing, like Nick has always validated me and just be like, even if he doesn't understand it, even if he doesn't get it, he's just like, you look so cool. I love that. Like that, he appreciates the art of it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And hypes me up that I'm like, okay, I can take this confidence and like
grow.
I'm so confident with it. Like I genuinely, if I walk in somewhere and if people, even if they comment or like, think something like this outfit sucks, like, geez, that's not a cool outfit. That's blah, blah, blah. I literally could care less. I'm just like, I love it. And I know other people probably love it. Not everybody, but like, I'm very confident in this.
Yeah.
If I could just only pluck that confidence and put it into other areas,
right?
Like the thing that you're the least confident about, if you just like literally somehow
fake it till
that,
exactly.
It's just game changing. Like even if I was, I don't know, just sometimes even about like work stuff. Like if I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna say my idea. And I'm going to truly pretend like it's the best idea ever.
Just stand behind it.
And if they don't think it's a good idea, I don't care.
Yeah.
That's very hard to do for me. That it's like, okay, I need to just take that confidence and put it into other areas and my life will be better.
Yeah. You're never going to be 100% fully confident. And even like, I think that both of our humors are a bit self-deprecating. And I think it is funny sometimes. Like, to be honest, it's not like,
I'll never stop.
Yeah. I will never stop doing that. Like I had posted the other day, I was like, when you just feel blah, like, and I was just saying like my hair's greasy, my tank top's not fitting right. Like there's just something about, one of those days where you're just like, ew. And someone replied and they're like, no, I thought you weren't going to be like self-deprecating. And I'm like, okay, there's a difference between like being honest and being real and being self-aware and being self-deprecating. I think like there's a difference. I don't know. I'm like, if I recently did like a try on haul on my YouTube video and there was this Anthropology sweater that I wore. It literally looked like I was wearing a neck brace. I'm like, okay, so this is giving neck brace. And then these pants I ordered were super long. And I'm like, that to me, and I don't know, but that to me is like funny. It's not like I'm like, and now I'm having a bad day and I'm so not confident. It's like, I can joke about this. I can still have my sense of humor and be confident in a lot of areas. But I think for me, it's like the very critical things that I say to myself.
When it's not funny.
Yeah. And it's not even just funny. It's like, oh, I take a picture and I'm like, I'm an ogre. It's like, okay, that is a little bit funny, but it's kind of just mean to myself. And like, I would never want anyone else to feel like I think that way of them. So like, those are the types of things that I'm trying to kind of
stay away from,
reel back a little bit on, because I just don't want that. I don't want that energy.
Yeah. Especially having kids. You're just like, I don't want them to like see that the little behaviors you do that are okay. You're like, I don't want my kids to like see me doing that and think it's okay to like be mean to themselves. Or
Exactly.
like, I want them to be funny, but yeah.
Okay, guys, we have a new sponsor, Alterna, and this is a really cool, innovative hair care brand. So as pioneers of alternative hair care, Alterna gets its name from being one of the first, if not the first, skincare-inspired hair care brands on the market. Like your skin, repairing and caring for your hair is vital for it to be healthy. So why don't we all have 10-step hair care routines like we do with our skincare? Their products also contain an age control complex, which is based on the science of anti-aging skincare. People normally only associate anti-aging with your body's physiological age, but hair aging is different. As soon as your hair grows from out of your head, it starts aging, and it's affected by the sun, heat tools, brushing, and all types of everyday factors. Alterna's age control complex is formulated with antioxidants to help undo the effects of intrinsic chemical and environmental aging and protect against future damage.
I personally have always really made sure to take extra good care of my hair. I have really fine hair. And I've always had really not just frail, or not just fine, but very frail as well. It's like it breaks very easily. I have to make sure that it doesn't get sun damage. I have to make sure that, I'm really keeping an eye on it. And so I love a hair care brand that really takes that seriously, because sometimes I feel like people are like, oh, just slap this on and it'll work and blah, blah, blah. No, I need the extra care. And I feel like more people do than they realize. So they're also committed to a clean philosophy. So they're formulated without parabens, SLS, SLES, sulfates, and other harsh chemicals, which is in alignment with our personal philosophy as well, because we do not want anything harming our hair. So caviar is not just in the name or tossed in for fancy marketing. There is actual caviar extract in all the products, which is one of the richest sources of omega-3 fatty acids. True luxury isn't a matter of what something costs, but the expectation that it delivers. We could go on and on about the many benefits of these products, helping with the overall vibrancy, elasticity, and manageability of your hair. But this is one of those areas where you must try it for yourself. So go learn more and pick up some product at your local Ulta or on Amazon.com. That's Alterna, spelled Alterna. Alterna, the caviar of hair care.
We love Lissy Skincare at the What We Said podcast. It was created by an esthetician who struggled with acne for over 10 years and couldn't find anything to really clear up her acne or fungal acne. Lissy knows the effect acne can have on your confidence and your mental health. I truly feel like having issues with your skin, not only is it physically painful, it is emotionally taxing. It is so frustrating to not feel, honestly, like at home and happy with your skin. And so I really love brands like this who are created by someone who actually have a personal experience with that and have created products to help. So their customers have called their products life-changing and magic in a bottle. All of their products for acne and fungal acne are safe and pregnancy and breastfeeding safe. I was able to use their hydrating serum when I was pregnant, and that was really nice to add that into my skincare routine. I personally love just like a hydrating serum to add after I cleanse my face, because my skin gets really, really dry, and I like when it has ingredients that are not going to cause me to break out as well, obviously.
One of their bestseller and viral products is the Mandelic Serum. I love this stuff. I've been using it once or twice a week just for a little exfoliation. So what is so amazing about Lissy is that all of their products for acne and fungal acne are safe and pregnancy and breastfeeding safe, which sometimes can be stressing you out, because sometimes those are the times when your skin needs the most help because your hormones are all over the place. So a while ago when I went to go get a facial, they were telling me how I need to be using a lactic acid for some exfoliation on my skin. And I've been using their Mandelic Serum, which is indeed that. And it has been so nice. I feel like it just really helps with the texture of my skin. So other benefits to their products include reducing acne scars, hydrating, barrier repair, improving hyperpigmentation, and so much more. So go to lissyskincare.com and use the code what we said at checkout for 10% off your order. That's LISSY skincare.com. Use code what we said for 10% off your order. It'll be linked in the show notes.
I know. I just
100%.
saw this thing. It was like kids who are funny had emotionally unstable parents. I'm like, great. I need to.
So I need to be emotionally unstable for
Yeah.
funny kids.
I need Benny to get some humor. So how are we gonna give that to her without a little bit of. She needs everything to not be perfect.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, this episode is going to be 7 hours long because I have thoughts just.
Let's call
running
it
in my
duh.
head. Oh, I was thinking we could call it Reese's Pieces. We can call it duh Reese's Pieces. What was I just going to say? I lost the train of thought. Oh, I was
Can't
saying,
be perfect for them to grow up.
Yeah, well, this is actually has nothing to do with that, but I was talking about humor. Where did I see this?
Probably TikTok.
Probably, or maybe a podcast. I can't remember. They were talking about high level, mid. Oh, it was a TikTok. Like high tier humor, mid, and low, and like how intelligence plays into like different humor.
So what level are we at?
I don't know what we're at, but I was thinking about how annoyed I was at it because I was just like, can't we just like have fun and think things are funny without being like, it was like high tier is like layered humor. And if that's funny, like, and that means you have high intelligence. If you think layered things are funny, it's like, okay. Then mid tier is like stand-up comedy where it's like, there's a punchline. It's not like poo-poo pee-pee. I'm low tier.
Yeah, I'm definitely low tier.
And then low tier is like, falling.
Pooping, like stuff like that.
Yeah, that's like the difference.
Okay.
And they were saying, I can't remember exactly the point of it, but basically just breaking it down and analyzing it. And I was just getting infuriated because I'm just like, I don't know. I guess,
why do we have to analyze every little thing?
I'm just like, and also just people who yuck the yum of joy and laughter.
Yeah, literal
like, can
humor.
we not? Yeah, they're like mid-tier people. They're not as intelligent as high-tier people. It's just like, oh my gosh, just like laugh at something.
Yeah.
Like just think things are funny and don't have to be like, these aren't funny. Like that's, I don't know. It's just
that is actually extremely annoying.
Extremely annoying. It's like, because I'm so intelligent, I only get dark humor. Like I'm different. It's like, I've seen those TikToks where it's like, I don't know, it'll say something. I can't even think of the word to describe it, but then you slide over, it's like, calm down, snowflake. It's just a joke. Like,
no, I've never seen that.
Okay, well, that's low tier humor, but I think it's hilarious. It's just like so stupid. It's just, can we just have fun? Like, I was just thinking how life is just better. And maybe I'm thinking this because I have a toddler. First of all, again, I have a million thoughts, but I wanted to talk about how fun toddlers are because I feel like they get such a bad rap. And we've been talking about this recently, but like, Case is almost 3 and it is so fun. Like he is so fun. He thinks everything's funny and it is funny. And life is more fun when things are silly and goofy and like you can just laugh at things. And I think Abby was telling me about how like being able to find things funny is like a way of resilience. Like it actually is a good way to cope with things. I mean, obviously in a balance, but
yeah.
I was just thinking how much better life is when you can just laugh and you don't have to nitpick people. You don't have to like, I don't know, analyze everything and you can just laugh and think things are funny. You don't have to leave a rude comment. You don't have to send it to your friends and be like, this is so stupid. I can't believe, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just like, just laugh, enjoy. And if you don't think it's fun, you don't have to think everything's funny. There's plenty of things that I think are not funny and that, or maybe ironically funny. But just a rant I was thinking about because it was making me mad. It's kind of the same thing as like the nitpicky, like perfection. It's like, oh, this is not funny. This is funny. It's like, I mean, everyone has different tastes. Don't get me wrong. But I've just been thinking about how just let people stop yucking the yums.
Well, we just see me going on a rant for 30 minutes about how you're a stupid idiot if you think it's Reese's Pieces.
No, that's
I'm
humor.
like, you're not above anyone else.
No.
You need to stop.
That's not it. It's like
that quite literally is it. Me yucking their yums.
No,
They enjoy calling it that. No, I think in today's like climate. It's just
with TikTok specifically.
We see so many opinions, and like it's up to us to let them into our world and into our ether, but it's very hard not to.
Yeah.
Because if you are just completely unbothered by what everyone says, and it doesn't really matter if people think things are, if people are like, this is annoying, you're just like, hey, whatever, that just doesn't affect me. Like, I don't care what you say. But it's just really hard to, when you are just seeing so many opinions over and over and over, and there are just weird things that, not weird, but I guess typical things that people say, like, I'm trying to think of the newborn stuff that people would say to us, like when we were out and about. I really can't even think of.
But you're saying like kind of like just wait comments or something?
Like just wait, or even how people are like, oh, the like, what is the like terrible twos, three-nager, like it's so hard to have a toddler. And I always use this example. People would always be like, oh, teenagers are so hard, like can't wait to get them out of the house, that type of energy. And my dad would always be like, what? Like, that's literally just something that people say. If you think about it, it's just such a common thing. Like, oh, teenagers. You know, if you were to tell someone, oh, I have a 15-year-old son and 18-year-old son, it's like, oh, teenagers. And my dad's like, I would always reply and be like, no, my boys are awesome. Like, they're so fun. Mm-hmm. I don't want them to leave the house. Like, I'm going to be so sad when they leave. They're a blast. And that doesn't mean they don't have their annoying moments. That doesn't mean a toddler never has a tantrum, you know. But I think like, though, focusing on that out of everything and being like, that's so hard, like just wait until this.
Yeah,
it's just something that people say, and if you actually think about it more critically, it's literally just a phrase people say.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That they've gotten so comfortable saying, and it's like not even necessarily the reality of things.
Yeah, it's just I've been we talk about this all the time, how all the information, and I think it's the analyzing of everything, even as I was talking about, to bring it full circle, like the health and wellness thing, like the humor thing. It's just like so much analyzing, and it's like, oh, toddlers are so hard because they blah, blah, blah. It's like when you just kind of take a step back and look at things. I mean, in my opinion, again, like I could be eating my words, but toddlers are so fun. And yes, they have tantrums, but that's like 1% of the time. And those can be hard, but it's like, overall, so fun, so much joy, so much laughter, so much like wonder of the world, and just like magic, truly just like magical. Like I think kids just get more and more fun and more cute and more, you know, just watching them grow up is like such a blessing and such a fun experience, that to be like, oh, they're just so hard is like doing it such a disservice. Because I get that when it's happening, maybe it's like, oh, this part is hard, this specific part, but just, I don't know. I've just been like so bogged down by the negativity of everything, where it's like we even have to, that's kind of why I brought up the humor thing. It's like we even have to nitpick humor and like what people actually think are funny, and like the times people are enjoying themselves in this economy.
Yeah, for real.
We're doing that in this economy. Like, it's everything else is complicated enough.
Like, that's the one thing we have, is to just laugh. Like, we don't need to be putting it into tears and saying you're unintelligent. You think A, B, and C is funny.
Yes, and like watching the same thing, like a newborn. It's like, okay, so they wake you up, you don't get sleep. It's like, but you worked so hard to get this baby. You were pregnant for so long. You just gave birth. It's like you've been through so much. They're so beautiful. They're so cute.
It's nice to validate that some things are hard, but I think to focus on that and have that be the overall takeaway.
Yeah. When in reality is, again, speaking personally, I think is the opposite take of like, wait, no, this is one of the best things I've ever done. Like, and easy in a lot of ways. Yes, some things are hard and like to struggle with, but to be like, I don't know, just focus on how hard or how negative it is just, it's very exhausting, and honestly, it makes it harder.
Well, I was going to say, it's the irony is like, I feel like there's those phrases, oh, newborn life, it's so hard, you're in the trenches. Like, oh, exactly what I was just saying, terrible twos. And then they get older and it's like, whatever, I can't even think of all this stuff. But like, oh, teenagers are so hard. Well, you just want them to leave, and then blah, blah, blah. And then all the older people are like, it goes by so fast and I just want to soak up. And it's like, okay, so do we see the irony there? That you're
telling me to hate it while I'm in
it. While I'm in it, while I'm supposed to be present and enjoying these like beautiful once in a lifetime moments, it's like, oh, it's so hard. Just wait till this. Oh, someone the other day was just saying, oh, just wait until they talk and how like they're going to annoy me so much. Like my kid. Like once they talk, they just don't shut up. And I'm like, so while I'm trying to enjoy like my childhood and the most beautiful moments, you're telling me they're going to be so annoying to me. And then again, then I'm going to be 70 and it's like, I wish I would have soaked that in. Like, why don't we just learn now to try our best to soak in every single moment of our lives instead of constantly finding the one thing about it that might be annoying and doubling down and focusing on that as just wait until this, you're gonna hate this, you're gonna hate this, and then it's too late to enjoy it.
It makes me I'm literally gonna burst into tears. It makes me so sad for like the kids. Like I just think of if I was a little kid and I heard adults talking about how when I started speaking, like how annoying I was, it's like, what?
I know.
It's so sad for the kids. I feel like they are learning and you are like giving them their foundation of like their emotional regulation, of their, you know, how they can rely on people, trusting people, even like thinking things are funny, like asking questions, like trying to figure things out. If you're constantly like, I don't know, it just makes me sad, I think, for just kids in general when all they hear is negativity about themselves and like they hear their parents talking negatively about them and like, oh, they just won't blah, blah, blah.
They won't shut up. They ask too many questions.
Yeah, like have you gotten this part yet where they just blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's like, if we're in a conversation alone and maybe if they're not there, it's like, oh, this part's like kind of frustrating. Like, I totally think that's good for parents to be able to vent and like relate about things. But I think in front of your kids or in front of other people's kids, it is so important to speak highly of them and to build them up, because I think it's so damaging if you were to hear that. Like that person's kids, like, oh, me existing, you brought me into this world, and then the second I start trying to say I love you.
Yeah, to express yourself, it's like, oh, you're annoying. Not that I would ever feel that way, but just again to hear that rhetoric of like, oh, then they're just like, won't stop talking and they're going to annoy you and they're going to ask all these questions. And I'm like, good, I hope she does. Like, sure, there might be little moments.
That's the most fun part.
Of like annoyance, but it's like, I'm very excited for her to do all of that. And I don't know. It's just, I agree. I think we just need to focus overall on
being positive when you can.
Yes, but being positive when you possibly can. There's enough going on in all of our worlds to stress us out. Like, we don't need to be focused on the one little thing that could possibly be annoying and like harp on that, because our words are so powerful, and I feel like they literally shape our minds and perspectives. Like if we're constantly thinking that something's going to be so hard and annoying, then it is going to be a little bit more hard and annoying. Yeah. And it kind of goes back to even, I mean, I'm trying to like round out the conversation, but
we've gone on.
I'm like, and now we go back to Reese's Pieces. No.
Like, but if she says that, I will be saying, just wait.
No, literally. Now she will know much better than that. But I think just in general, even with the, like, your taste is not going to match your talent level, just put stuff out, just do things. Like, I feel like it's so, you feel so scared to be wrong or to look dumb or to blah, blah, blah. And again, because you see all these freaking videos of people being like, if you think this is funny, you have low tier humor and a low IQ. So then you get in your head, it's dumb. But it's like when you are constantly, not that I would genuinely get in my head over that, but when you're constantly seeing those nitpicky things.
Gosh, this is what people think?
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, so that's what everyone's thinking. And you just feel like, well, I'm not going to share, that I have this new hobby that I've been working on, because people are going to think it's the dumbest thing ever. They're going to think that I suck, because I probably do, because my talent is not matching my taste yet, because I just started, or whatever it is. Just got to be fearless.
Yeah. Let's do some positive just waits. Just wait until you wear an outfit that you love and you go out and someone you really look up to fashion-wise compliments it, and it's the best feeling in the world. And you're just like, oh my gosh. Just wait until I'm trying to think of something. I'm like, you get ripped to shreds. No.
Just wait until you make a design choice for your house, or, you set the vibe of your house, you light a candle, you have a cozy blanket, and your friend comes over and it's like, ooh, it feels so cozy in here.
That actually is a great feeling.
You have some music playing and they're just like, ooh, it feels so, the vibe is just right in here. And you're like, I did that.
And it's okay if there's dishes in the sink.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wait till your toddler says, I love you. Truly, like, again, the tantrums of a toddler are 1% of the time. Maybe more. I don't know the actual...
no disclaimers necessary.
Yeah. Like, it's not perfect. My math is not perfect. But if you go on an outing, it's like your toddler asking you about trees, about space. Case was just asking me about Saturn and like, where is it? Is it far? Can we go? Like, I was just like, my heart was just filling up. I'm just like, this is so precious. This is so fun to be like, honestly, I'm like, I need to Google that. I have actually no idea.
ChatGPT, let me check.
Yeah, he's like learning about the solar system, just different things. Just wait until that. Just wait until they can recite a book. You read them all the time. Like,
so fun.
So fun. Just wait until your baby starts smiling at you, starts laughing. Like,
magical.
It's the best. It really is. Like, I'm not even just saying that to be like toxic positivity, because obviously parenting has its struggles. I just did it again. Obviously.
Duh.
Being a parent is the funnest thing ever to me. Like, I think it's so fun and doable and very, very rewarding.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And so is putting yourself out there.
Yeah. Yeah. Whatever stage of life you're in, I think it's just, I mean.
Same with marriage, same with being in a relationship, some things that you hear.
Yep, just wait until this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Ball and chain.
I always say that. Like, people would be like, I'd been married for a year or something. I can't remember, but like, oh, wait till you hit 5 years, wait till you hit 10 years. And I'm like, okay, I'm almost there. I'm almost to 10 years. Still obsessed.
Yeah,
like,
still so fun.
Truly, still so fun. Still the easiest, most fun part of my life. And I will die on that hill.
Yeah.
Like, why do I have to, even if it's going to be hard in 5 to 10 years, why do I have to like anticipate that and live my life in fear? Like, why don't I just enjoy the present moment of things being great? Like, it makes no sense. I forgot what I was going to end with, but just that we only have one life, YOLO, as they say.
Yeah.
And when I really stop to think about that, like, I just am like, why would I ever let just opinions or like, all these things that I see online, like, why would I ever let any of those things stop me from being creative and putting myself out there and maybe showing something that's not perfect? Like, who cares? Why would I care about that?
Yeah.
When I am 75, am I going to care that in one of my vlogs there was laundry on the freaking chair?
No.
Who cares? It doesn't matter. Do what you want to do.
I concur. I think there was this TikTok and it was like all these photos of like, maybe you saw it, like older women, like probably in their 80s or 90s, like eating or like just doing normal things. And it was like, I'm so glad. It's like stupid things. Like, I'm so glad I didn't go to my high school prom because I was scared people were going to make fun of my dress. Like, just stupid things where it's like, they are not thinking about that. Like, oh, I'm so glad I never went after my dreams because blah, blah, blah. Like, just stupid things where it's like, they're not thinking that. Like, just do what you want to do. Mm-hmm. Who cares?
And make decisions that will make yourself proud. Like, of course I'm bringing Amber up have already talked about her 5 times in this episode.
Yeah, same.
Because she is my icon and what I literally aspired to be. But she just posted recently, she was like, I used to be so terrified of my kids growing up and seeing what other people have said about me on the internet. And then I realized they're never going to find me talking bad about anyone else on the internet or like just in general. Like, she's like, they'll never find me tearing down another woman. Yeah. And that is a flex. Yeah. Like, that is how you want to raise your kids. She's saying it's so much cooler to be the one being made fun of than the one making fun of other people.
It's true.
And I was like, that is so powerful, truly, because I would so much rather be made fun of and have people think that I'm cringy or annoying or stupid or any of those things and be living the life that I want and show Benny that is so much cooler than being the one nitpicking other people and just judging them and saying bad things about them and being hateful. Like, I don't want her to grow up with that type of energy around her ever. Yeah. And I always want her to know that, like, just do whatever you want. Wear that outfit if you think it's cool. And it doesn't matter what other people think. You like it, so you wear it. That's fun. Yeah. Like, I want her to grow up with that energy. And if people make fun of you, you're cooler than the person that's making fun. That's on them. And like, I loved that. I'm like, that's so true and like important to remember.
Yeah. Very powerful.
Yeah.
Do what you want to do, you guys. Go after what you want to go. YOLO.
Wow. We went on some rants today.
Yeah, we did.
Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to ever be a part of our episodes, we have some like story write-ins, some advice episodes coming up. So if you guys ever want to be a part of those, go to our Instagram. It's at What We Said Podcast. We have a little highlight you can enter stuff into, and we may read it. It's always anonymous on the podcast. We're working on some fun stuff, trying to get our Halloween episode, our annual Spooky Stories episode prepped. So stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned for you know who
to make an appearance. We love you guys so much, and
that's what we said. Bye.